It's about damn time that Taylor was back on the podcast. It was about damn time. Were you like itching to come back?
Yes.
I was itching to have you back. It's always a good vibe when you have your sister on the podcast. Taylor's back. If you didn't hear Taylor already, I think she was on episode, what number was that? Do you remember? 3? Yeah. Sister advice on dating. I think we did a dating episode.
That was a fun one.
And then we were like, okay, next one we need to do it on friendships. And one thing I just want to talk about really quick too is this podcast, I've finally found like the grounding words of what this is. Because obviously it's well said. There's things that are like health related. There's things that are about your career and things that I wish I would have known. But I finally realized that the 2 words I was looking for are relationship with health and relationship with self. That is what the podcast is. That's everything it is in a nutshell. And I'm so excited because I finally feel grounded with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just needed a little time.
I know.
Now you got it.
And it took... Sister. And Taylor and I just got back from Los Angeles, girls. And every time I go there, I feel like I leave and come back and I've got better style. Why is that?
Yes. And also I love how it's fully acceptable to wear like a hat like this going out.
I know. Taylor's hat says dump him, which is so fun. Yeah. And everybody loved it. Everyone would smile or laugh or like look around.
A lot of guys were laughing at it. It was funny.
What was your favorite part about the LA trip?
Probably just being outside and it not having the fucking air like burn your face. Mm-hmm. Well, now we have nicer weather, but I think honestly the food.
I know, that was mine.
The food and the coffee.
I love eating.
And that avocado toast.
Oh my God, that was the best avocado toast. And it's called Tartine.
Yeah.
In Santa Monica. That was so freaking
And
bomb.
Apparently I think it started in, I want to say like San Francisco or something.
Oh, really? But a California place. Yeah. We were visiting my friend Hobo out there and honestly just... I love California. Every time I go there, I'm like, damn it, I really do love it so much. But the problem is Jordan doesn't really like it, which is, I understand. Some people are not ocean people. I'm like an ocean person.
Yeah. I think like if I was there, I'd definitely have to live really close to the ocean.
Yeah, you have to be close to the water. Otherwise you might go insane. But it was really fun because we ran around. We were there Thursday to Sunday. We honestly, Taylor and I walked like 5 miles the first day just because we were roaming around. We didn't know. And we went out the next night for dinner and we went to a Michelin star restaurant, which is so freaking sick to say, but it wasn't expensive. It was just like an Asian fusion restaurant. It was bomb. But honestly,
and the aesthetic in there, it was so cool. It felt like it did not feel like you were in LA. It felt like Italy or something.
Yeah, it did. And we just went out and honestly, it was me, Hobo, and Taylor. And we sat at a table outside away from everybody by a fire. And we had the best conversations and just like drank our fun drinks. And we were in bed by midnight. And it could not have been better.
Felt like a very like girl power fun like weekend.
I know. And I saw the people I needed to see. I obviously couldn't see a few of them because some of the people live like way the heck out in West Hollywood. But like, it felt so good, like to go there. We got to spend time together. We got to actually do a girls trip.
Yeah.
Did the things we wanted.
One. Yeah. And also try out, what's that place called? Cycle Bar.
Oh yeah. Cycle Bar. Yep.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Just to
try out a different studio in like a different city. I like that.
I loved, it's so fun. So if you're even like considering it, like even last year I took my mom to Miami for her birthday and we've been wanting to do a sister trip, like do the damn trip because it is so much freaking fun. Like it is worth it 1,000 times over if you can save like $100 a month. Even, I know that's kind of steep, like $50 a month maybe until you save up to it. Even if it's a year from now, it is so much fun and so worth it.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll have those memories for so long.
That's what I'm saying. But today we're going to be talking about friendships, being good friends, having good friends. We're also going to talk about like checking yourself in relationships, like jealousy with friends. I think we should talk about that. That's kind of something I just added in. And then keeping a long distance friendship, 3 things I think you need to ask yourself about your friendships, and then like friendship breakups. And there is a ton of call SYDs in this episode. It's going to be really, really good. So why don't we just get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to start with the call SYD right off the bat because this episode is about friendships. And I think there's a ton of people that are writing in. A lot of people write in about dating. A lot more people write in about friendships.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. So this one says, I'm reaching out because I need an outside opinion. I have a friend group that I used to be close, strong, and a unit. Recently, it has all gone bad. There's friends starting problems out of nothing, blowing things out of proportion, commenting on people's body image through backhanded comments, taking control of situations that aren't theirs, talking behind people's backs, and getting other people against others. I'm sad to say said person and I were very close 2 years ago. We have now scheduled a whole group intervention to hash out all these issues. I'm 27 and way too old for any kind of this drama. What do you think we should do to help mend these issues between all 6 of us? Is there things we should avoid at this intervention to help things go smoother? Or is this possibly the end of a friendship? How do we get this person to see the pain and stress they're causing without making them feel super, in quotes, attacked or concerned? So there's somebody in this friend group basically that is just being...
It's only one person?
It sounds like it because they said, I'm sad to say said person and I were very close. So it sounds like even though it's a friend group, this person is like the one person getting into all the issues, and they've realized that that person is the solid root reason of the friend group having drama. And they said blowing things out of proportion, starting problems out of nothing, commenting on people's body image through backhanded comments, control of the situation.
The person's commenting on their friend's body image?
Like, oh my God, you're really little. Or like, oh my God, you look different. What have you been doing different? You know, I mean, those are like backhanded comments, right? I mean, if you know the problem is coming from one person, there's no way around them thinking that they're getting attacked, in my opinion. Like they're going to feel attacked regardless, especially when it's all, well, I guess it would be 5 against 1. But at the same time, if this is true that this person is causing it, that's a bigger issue. At the same time, though, I want to point out that if the whole friend group is having problems and it's one person that's causing the issues, how is that stemming for the whole group to have problems? Like it seems like the whole group needs to have an intervention. Then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because how is it getting back? If you all are irritated by this one person, then everybody should be openly communicating to them, being like, "What the hell?" But it sounds a little bit like some people are in the like college phase where to everybody's face you want to be nice, and then behind people's backs you're not, and that's usually what causes rifts in friendships.
Or is it almost that the person that's saying these comments is kind of the leader?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe that's the dynamic. I don't know.
So the questions are like, what do you think we should do to help mend these issues between all 6 of us? And are there things that we should avoid in this intervention? Honestly, I don't think anything's off limits, but you have to remember if you're thinking about therapy, come at it from like I feel like this and I'm really upset and I care about you. That's why you're here. Otherwise I would have we could have just all ended this friendship, but we all care. I think you need to start fresh. Otherwise you will never be able to go back to normal. The friend group has to start fresh, and everybody needs to honestly, this is the time to do it. Bring up, if someone said, you made a comment about my body and it hurt my feelings really bad. Now's the time to do it. Like, don't waste your breath and be like, no, everything's good. If you cover shit up and pretend like everything's good, this will just come back to bite you in the ass like a few months down the road.
I almost think too, it's best, since it is like a group thing, that they should all just sit down together.
I think that's what they're going to do. I'm pretty sure.
And then just each go around and say what they're kind of feeling, and just try not to make it so about that one person, but about what's happening to the group. Yeah. And I think that will help. I think, because at first I was thinking maybe like I would go and have coffee with the girl and talk to her, but then that will start like the talking behind the back, and it will be better, since it is about the group, to get it done with the group. It
sounds too that this girl's probably pretty hurt about something.
Yeah.
Like maybe she feels like the odd man out in the friend group, and that's what you need to find the root cause of, is like, why are you being so defensive when these 2 people are arguing about something? It's not your problem. So like, stay out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my advice. That's hard. I mean, I've definitely been in like friend groups that have had drama, but I don't involve myself in other people's drama. So I really try to stay far away. And I do have honest comments. If I hear something that's kind of messed up, I'm like, oh, you probably shouldn't say that. Yeah. But it's not in an attacking way, and it's not an angry way. It's more like, oh, I don't know about that. Don't say that. Yeah. It comes with maturity, but if this person's 27, that's too much going on in that friend group. Yeah. Find the root of the problem with the person too. Like, ask, is there something going on? Like, because I don't feel like you've been treating everybody with kindness, and I know you're kind. That's why we're friends. That's how I would go about it.
Yeah. That one seems difficult.
It is hard. It's hard to navigate. I wish I knew some of the examples of the situation too. Hard. Because this person could really truly be an asshole, or they could just be somebody who's really hurt and feeling sad about something.
For sure.
Okay, I have another one that we're going to do right off the bat, and then we'll go into like friendships and the shift from college and all those initial things. Okay, this one says, one of my best friends and I broke up a couple years ago, and I truly don't understand or know what to do. But I was going through a lot at the time, and I think I just didn't let her in, and she may have taken offense to that. But recently she got engaged to her boyfriend, who I knew she would get married to when I first started talking. In the last handful of months, I've occasionally texted her saying things like, happy birthday, congratulations on the engagement, and random texts like that. I just went to and thought of you. I hope that we can be friends again soon and be in each other's life. I know I'm not going to be a bridesmaid at all, although we've talked about it forever, because our friendship isn't there, but I'm afraid that I won't even get invited to her wedding, and it breaks my heart because I love her and her now fiance so much. How should I feel if I don't get an invitation? Taylor, you're like a man of no words today. What's going on? Like Mrs. Mute. What the fuck?
Oh my God. If I was in that position, I probably would go have coffee with my friend, ask her to catch up and say, even if it's awkward, I'd really love if you invited me to your wedding. Yeah. Like I want to be a part of that special day.
Oh, I like that. I like the coffee, like reach out and see if they're even open to it. Because if you can't sit down face to face, you're definitely not going to be at their wedding. And just maybe at that coffee date, explain what was going through your mind when you broke it off. Or like, it sounds like this person was the one that broke it off and the other one got irritated for not having attention or something kind of thing.
Maybe ask to meet for coffee and the person that broke it off kind of explain what you were going through at the time, so she at least understands that and knows it wasn't her. Yeah. And then maybe that'll help you guys move forward.
I think so too.
In a better direction.
I think that's the only way forward. I really I mean, I would be curious how receptive she is to the texts. Like, is she like, thank you, oh my God, I'm so excited, or like, you knew he was the one, like I can't believe it's happening, kind of like that. Read the situation, read the room of like, how are they responding to the messages? Because if they're not receptive to it and they're not, like, it's very clear that they've got a wall up still, probably not worth diving into. You know what I mean? It's probably like your answer is in the paint. But I always think the power of ask, and I always would rather regret doing something than not doing something. So I would ask them out to coffee and just say, let's go talk about it. What's the worst that could happen? She says no and she's not ready for it. Or she's like, and then you have your answer. If you don't get it,
Burpee McGee.
I know, I'm like, duh. If you don't get anything out of that and you're just asking, how should I feel if you don't get an invitation? That's a bummer. Yeah. But it is a learning, opportunity. And if you don't try to mend it, like, how are you going to feel? Yeah. Because you don't know if, even though over there she's happy in her, like, what is it called? Engagement. She might be missing you too. Yeah. Sounds like you were friends for a while and you're around when they first met. So I don't think there's harm in that. I think people can separate and come right back together if they're in a better spot.
I think so too.
I just apologized to Taylor for calling her a mute, and she was like, it's okay. I just had to process that, process the write-ins, because it is hard.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. Like, I have to think it in my head and think about myself in the position and what I would do. I don't know.
Sorry, psycho sister moment. That was my bad.
But we're back.
We're feeling better. Sorry about that.
That's the epitome of sisters, when you literally argue and then you're like, all right, so I want to go get coffee.
Yeah, that's so true. Also, I have caffeine and I'm sweating.
I'm like a little warm in here too.
It's hot in here, and so I get like impatient when I'm warm. I'm like, what's wrong? And then I'm worried that Taylor's mad or something. So I'm like, what? You're mute. What's going on?
No, I was in a
listening daze.
I was in a daze, and then you're staring at me like, what the fuck?
That's a lot of pressure. Okay, but I will say the best part about a sister is that you have a built-in friend, a best friend, and like literally other half. Like, we do same things, which is scary. Sometimes I look at you and I'm like,
and sometimes
you're so similar.
Mom at home is like, I'll show her like a picture or I'll do something and she's like, oh my God, you look like Sydney.
Really? We're looking more and more alike as we get older.
Or you'll send pictures to like Fam Bam and she'll be like, oh my God, she looks like you in this. It's funny.
Sometimes I'll see a photo of you and think it's me. Yeah. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not me. that ain't it.
Wait, that wasn't me.
One time, okay, well, this is actually funny, but
wait, what is this?
No, I just was going to say Angela kind of looks like our sister too, one of our other friends. And Jordan came up on the couch and he's like, I'm going to go out in the garage. And he had his hand on Angela's head. And he was about to like lean in for a kiss. And I turned over because I could see in my peripheral. And I looked at him and he goes, oh my God, holy shit. He goes, I almost kissed Angela.
Oh my God.
But she's like our third. She looks like us too. And he was like that. He was like shook the whole night. He was like, that scared me. He like
that
flew
reminds
his
me
hands
of
off.
when I would go to Edina Lifetime, like senior year of college, and people would always be like, Sydney, and then they'd be like, oh.
So awkward.
I'm like, yep, I'm different.
I'm a different person.
I look
Thank you so much. Okay, but Taylor. People have called me Taylor before too, but it is hard. I feel like because I'm the.
Why do I feel like
these are the stages of sisterhood? You're like angry, confused, like literally like slap happy. Okay, let's talk about the episode here. Friendships in a nutshell. I would like you because you're more similarly, or what the fuck?
Why do I feel nervous?
You're closer to leaving college and having that like. Taylor, stop laughing.
Sorry.
Post-college friendships into now. You're closer to that.
Yeah.
And your friends are changing. And one of those write-ins that I wanted to read, but I've already read, I realized after I started reading it, was that friends change and it's okay to be different from friends, right? So let's just talk about the shift from college to now. So you talk about it first, just because you're closer.
I think I'm in a really interesting point in my life, like right after college, where you graduate and then you're not living with your closest friends. Like I was living with, in a house with like 12 girls. I can't remember honestly how many.
That was
nasty. Crusty as hell.
That thing was
so gross.
I used to party in that house I went there.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the old Tried-Out house. Yeah. If any of U of M people know that, but no wonder I went home a lot. I didn't go home because I didn't like people. I went home because I wanted to be in somewhere clean.
The person that lived in the basement,
it was literally had not rat poison.
No, that was like that. There's no way that was like to code. Like they would have like for sure reported that.
There was and there was no like inspections for a while. I bet.
No, anyway.
Okay,
but either way, the friendship shift from college to now.
Yes, everyone's kind of like moving away. People are getting jobs, real jobs. Some people haven't gotten it yet. Some people are living at home. Some people are just got an apartment with someone. It's like you're all doing, for the first time, you're doing your own thing and you're not on the same path as anyone. So it can feel really isolating. And then you can kind of compare and be like, well, should I be moving or should I be doing this? And I think you also don't have those like college drinking friends anymore because that's not happening every week and you're not seeing those same people every single weekend.
Right.
But you kind of lean into the ones and you find your way of which ones actually matter to you. Mm-hmm. And like my friend Kenzie in Chicago, we talk like every single day and she's not even here. You're kind of just in this time span of like figuring out who you want to spend time with.
Would you say that you are less worried about like being friends with people?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If that makes sense?
Yes, completely.
Because I remember the only comment I was going to say was like wanting to be friends with people because my friends were friends with them, but I just kind of like thought I had to be friends with them, if that makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
And now and then once you leave college, you're like, what? I'm never going to see them again. Peace.
You can finally like put effort into people you actually want to spend time with. And a lot of the times I felt in college, like I felt like people were like almost jealous of the things I was doing, or like they took it offensively that I was always going home, or like I was just living my life how I felt most comfortable.
Not everyone can do that.
Not everyone also does college the same way. Like I needed to go home and reset my mind, and I love working out. Like I don't like rotting all day.
I know.
Like sometimes I do.
Sometimes.
But I like to move. Like anyways, I think right now I'm finally finding the people that actually want to see me do good. Because you got those silent haters a lot.
They're out there.
Yeah.
I could give a two shits about them though.
But
you as you grow, you care less
that.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely had girls in college that just like straight up didn't like me, and I don't
for
even know
no
why.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know. I think you start to mature and you're like, I just don't care about that anymore. And it was hard because I remember in college, it was more obvious when like a girl maybe wasn't very nice to you, and then you're all in a friend group. So you're kind of forced to be around them. You're forced to like maybe make small talk, maybe try to mend things. Your friends are like, your really close friends are friends with this person maybe.
Yeah.
Like just weird stuff like that. I'm talking like all through college.
Yeah.
And then thankfully, when you leave college, like I don't need to be around you and I don't want to be around you. And it's almost like all of a sudden this weight is lifted off your shoulders of like, I'm not required to do any of that anymore, or like please people, like, because I just feel like I have to. But like, if you're feeling that still right now, that's not a good sign. If you're still feeling like you're pleasing friend groups or forcing friendship with people that you don't need to be friends with, that's what I want you to like start listening to.
Yeah.
And like, if it's forced, it's not right. Like if you're forcing a friendship, it is not right. And we can talk about that later in a little bit of like the friendship breakups and the why. But I want to ask you, Tay, like what do your friends look like now versus when you were in college?
Ooh, that's a good question. I actually haven't thought about this stuff yet. Let me ponder. I'm kidding. Let me ponder there. I think my friends now are more like we're all more in tune with our routines and like because most of them have real jobs and we talk like a lot, or whether that's texting or like calling now. Like I call way more. Me and Kenzie will FaceTime, or I think it's just more natural and it's easy. Like in college, I feel like there's so many people everywhere and you want to be friends with people. It was just kind of a lot of pressure almost to like keep up with everything, social media, like say hi to everyone when you're out, try to be talking to people. It was so chaotic.
It was chaotic.
And now I feel like I can breathe and
you don't know who didn't like you either.
Yeah. And I'm forming new friendships, like a lot of new ones. That's really exciting. And yeah, honestly, this is random, but I think my birthday, the people that didn't text me, that was a very big sign.
It's telling, isn't it?
It is telling. Like, I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh, that we aren't that close.
That's interesting. Also, but yeah, I don't care. Like, and I'm also horrible at remembering birthdays.
I am too. Not gonna lie.
But like it's a very weird stage that I'm in. Like I'm so young, but like, and I bet a lot of people out there feel like this. You're just like finally on your own and you're realizing who your true friends are. That's literally what's happening around you.
And it's weird.
It is weird. And you're losing some and it's sad.
I feel like when you're in college, your routine looks like a certain thing. You know what's coming. You know you're going to go out.
You know you're going to see people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you're in control and you're in your own little bubble and it's your job as well to like make an effort.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times we make assumptions too if we don't hear from somebody that we care about that they're just not making an effort. But in reality, I think everybody's just at that time is kind of learning like, how do I still stay friends with the people that I like? And like, who really do I like? I think I got confused after college. I will say, it's hard because you also are seeing everybody doing all these things and you feel like you should be doing those things because in college you all did it together. It was like even playing ground. You leave college and now all of a sudden, okay, like everybody's doing these things. Like for instance, one friend over here has a job and they're going overseas or like, you know, doing something crazy like you never saw yourself doing. And you're like, that's so cool. They get to experience that. One person has an internship and they're moving to a different city and they're just doing it and they're just going. And you're like, oh my God, what the heck? I'm in my parents' basement, quite literally.
Me right now.
Saving up. Like, I don't really like my job. I don't really, you know, all of these factors. And you feel like, oh my God, I'm wasting away. I'm wasting my life away. And like, what am I going to do? It's like this comparison game that starts to happen in friendships. And you don't mean to. It's not a bad thing, but it makes it hard for you to choose your own path because you feel like you have to be doing something. And the answer is you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy for me to say after going through it and being like, oh, wow, I didn't really want to move to X city, but everybody else was moving there. And I almost moved there just because everybody else was going and I wanted to be with my friends.
Yeah. I think right now, I like kind of what we were talking about earlier when we worked out, like I'm figuring out what I like and what makes me happy and then trying to tune out everything else. I don't want to just move somewhere because everyone else is, or I think I'm doing me.
I think you are too. And I'm proud of you for that. We talked about that too on our trip. And I want you to do what is best for you. We talked about it in the sauna today when we were working out after too. I was telling Taylor, I'm like, you know, last week you said you didn't want to move. This week you say you do want to move. And I remember being there and I would have moved had I not met Jordan, but I just want to make sure that you're moving for the right reasons. Like you're moving for you, not anybody else. You're moving because you want to do it and you're going to the place you want to go to because you actually genuinely like that place, not because everybody else is there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I'm proud of you for that. The comparison game can be hard with friends. I feel like you kind of got to check yourself. Like there's a little jealousy in that in between period. And even in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, I think it always is there. And it isn't a secret. We're all we aren't all doing amazing things all the time, and we're not always doing and feeling amazing. So just remember that you see a lot of things, and it may look really shiny and sparkly on the outside, but it probably isn't all that, right? Like even friends that you go and visit in different cities, you're like, I was watching their stories. I felt FOMO. I felt like I'm not living. I'm sitting on my couch just wasting away with my ruffle chips.
And they're actually really lonely.
And they're really lonely and they're struggling. Yeah. It's social media. Yes. I mean, I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to talk about it on this thing because it's so a part of a business, but it shows only the highlights. We've talked about that before.
And that can be really difficult, I think, for people in this time when we're right out of college. There's social media. Like that's a lot. So I kind of just try to stay away from it a little.
I know.
Like just tune it out a bit and focus on you and getting your routine and all that.
Just because your social media tells people like something doesn't mean you have to like tell them that thing, or you know what I mean? Or just, you don't have to feel like you have to tell anybody anything.
You don't have to prove that you're happy. Done. You don't have to prove that you're happy to anyone.
No.
Or what, I'm doing this, I'm cool. Like no one really cares.
No one cares. Everyone's too self-absorbed in themselves anyway to pay attention. I will say, in this state of my friendship, I'm by far the most settled right now.
I feel like you are for sure. I noticed that.
I feel it.
Because you kind of have always been the person that has a lot of friends. Mm-hmm. And I think you've gone through like changes and flowing with different ones. Yeah. And now you're really figuring out who do you really like to spend time with. Yeah.
And it's not about liking or disliking people. It's about who I care to spend my time with and how do I feel. We'll talk about this later with breakups, but like, what does my body actually feel when I leave the conversation or leave the hangout? That's something I've been trying to be in tune with. Like when I leave the when I leave the hangout, do I feel stressed? Do I feel like I'm on a come down, like where I need to go lay down? What am I feeling? Do I feel really good and I feel kind of full, like my cup is full, like if that makes sense?
Earlier, I saw my friends, my high school friends, and we just have been this tight little group. Mm-hmm. I don't like maybe like from 2 years ago, and I always feel so relaxed, and we're all so different and we don't judge, and it just like feels like a breath of fresh air. Yeah. And I've never really had that.
That's such a rewarding thing. Mm-hmm. Don't take good friends for granted just because there's a cool new friend that comes into the picture or because you see someone you might want to be friends with. Like, don't forget about the good ones. Don't forget about the ones that you talk to less.
I love that. That's so true.
Don't forget about the ones that have been standing by you for so long, even if you're not the same, because those are the people who will be by your side on your wedding day. They'll be by your side through life, through all the changes in life, because they've already made it here. So like, nurture those relationships even when you're different from your friends, because you can be different from your friends.
And something I like to tell myself is it doesn't matter if your friend doesn't live in the same state. Like I have a really good friend in New York. I almost went and visited her, and I haven't seen her in a very long time, but we just like click. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it just, you can tell when it's a special friendship.
Absolutely. You can feel it. Yeah. Too. You feel good. Yeah. And they remind you like what good friends are. Like even I love to share this one because we're going to talk about keeping a long distance friendship, because I think that's a hard one too. Maggie, who you met obviously for the first time. I met her at Arizona State in like probably the worst time of my life, to date. Yeah. And we were only friends for like a handful of months before I left, and she's still like one of my closest friends.
Yeah. And she lives literally halfway across
the world. She lives in California. I don't get to see her. I didn't see her during COVID.
Halfway across the world, halfway across the country.
Halfway across the world. She's halfway across the world. Okay. How you doing, Sid? But it's crazy because when I'm with like the people like that, or I mean, even some of my friends right now, like we weren't the closest in college, and now we're so close.
I think that's a like beautiful thing. It's cool.
I also got really lucky in my college friend group because we're all so badass. Like I look around and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I love your friends.
Everyone is so cool.
They're so cool.
Like, I mean, like they all have like something that they're just driving for and no one's going to get in their way. Like it's like boss bitch central.
When we like hung out with them in LA, it was so fun.
I know. And
it's like good energy.
I just have good people around me, and my high school friends are me. Well, I guess it's like middle school, high school friends. Like I do really be, I'm like, I can't talk today. I am so blessed with the people that I have surrounding myself, but it took a while to weed them out, Because
like, you've been through, I'm not going to lie, a few crazos.
I did attract a few crazos
for some reason.
I think it's my,
I don't know.
I think I let people get away with way too much.
Yeah.
Sadly. I used to, I should say.
I feel like I don't.
You don't. You're better at that. But you maybe jump to conclusions too fast, assuming people's intent when like you're not invited or when like something like that happens, which is easy to do.
Yeah, I think I do that probably.
Well, I think you used to, but do you feel like, how have you like kind of gotten away from doing that, do you think?
I think it's the let them theory. That's what we were just talking about.
We were just talking about
it really is like a mind change. Yeah, because I don't think I do that at all anymore. I don't really care. I'm kind of unbothered.
Explain the let them theory.
It's the let them theory is just, I forget who it was started by, but just let them be. Just let it be. Everything happens for a reason, as cliche as that sounds. But if they want to like not invite you, let them. If they don't want to support you, let them. Like it's not affecting you. If
they want to be a part of drama or go back to the
to
the guy that they keep running back to, like let them. I mean, obviously give advice and nurture your friendships and make sure that they are okay. And like, you know, if they ask for your advice, give it to them. Like, don't let anyone be in a bad situation by any means. Not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying like, it's not your frustration to hold on to.
Yeah.
And once you realize that, you will live in so much more peace. And then you can decide like, wow, is this my really, really good friend in kind of a bad funk? Or is this a not very good friend that I don't want to be around?
Yeah.
They're two different things. Mm-hmm. And they feel totally different. And you can listen to yourself and feel for that. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about keeping a long distance friendship because at first this was hard for me because I hate my phone.
Yeah, and you get overwhelmed by texts.
Yeah, I get really overwhelmed. And I caught up on all my texts and I'm so freaking proud of myself.
On the way to California, guys, she literally wouldn't speak, was in her phone while I was doing like a million other things on the plane because I was bored. She responded to over 400 text messages.
I'm not proud that some were from July.
But that is so big for you.
I know.
I was literally like, oh my God.
I've been sleeping like a baby because of it. I'm not joking. I put my head on the pillow and I'm out. And then I wake up and like the birds are chirping. The sun is rising. There's a hot cup of coffee next to my bed. It's crazy how life changes.
I only have 15.
I think I have like 20 right now, but
that's normal.
We'll get to them tonight. It's not a big deal. No, but truly keeping a long distance friendship, I wrote down, check in with them and how are they, like actually asking like, how are you? And don't let them say like, I'm doing good. Like ask in detail. Like I remember that work was kind of bugging you last week. How do you feel about that? Or like, are you still trying for that promotion or things like that?
But don't just ask about work.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's a good call out though.
But like it is because like I think that can be sometimes when you get together with your friends and that's really sometimes on accident all that comes up is like everyone talking about work. It's like live in the moment, like talk about actually how you're feeling.
Work is not your identity, my friends. It's
and
not
I
your
fucking
identity.
hope not.
Find a different identity if so. You got to like get a hobby like paint or do something different. I also wrote down, remember what they've told you. So like if they're telling you things, listen, maybe don't multitask, especially if you're on FaceTime, because I cannot fold laundry or like clean the counter and talk to somebody. I won't retain the information. It just goes right out the window. And if you can't talk right then, because you're a little stressed, say, I don't feel very good right now. I'll call you back later. Always explain, like if you're like, you're in a funk, let's say, and you don't feel like getting on the phone, like I used to get in, just tell them. Just be like, I'm not feeling very good right now. I love you so much. And I know you'd usually help me with this, but right now I need a little bit of alone time. Communicating.
Yeah. I feel like that is the biggest thing. Definitely communicate over like ghosting or like not responding, because that can hurt a friend's feelings for sure. And you're like, oh, what did I do wrong? Just like communicate and say, hey, I'm not having the best day. Like, let's talk later this week.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect.
I've gotten caught in the accidentally ghosting people before, for sure. Many times.
It's sad because you definitely have so much going on. So you don't think you're doing anything or affecting anyone, but it can really be like, people. Oh shit.
It hurts people's feelings. And I never wanted that. If I could go back, I would be better about texting, but I hated texting. So it's like, I don't think I could have been.
Yeah,
it's a toss up. I wrote down, make a plan for the next time you see them. And I always write down like prioritize some one-on-one time, like a wine night. A few of my friends are really good about this and bringing it up, saying like, we need one-on-one time. Let's sit down. Emma's really good about saying like, let's do a wine night or just us for a little bit before we go do something with everybody.
That's special.
It's special because you get to see them face to face and you feel connected again. It's like, and then all of a sudden your puzzle pieces are back together and you just go about your business and maybe you don't see them for another 6 months, but it's like we had our check-in. We felt good. We both are on the same page. Okay, cool.
The best feeling is when you check in with a long distance friend and then now you are all caught up kind of with everything. And it's just like like a little relief.
I know, you can go to bed. You can have your sleepy time tea and feel good about yourself and about your friendships. I wrote down random messages reminding them you care.
Yeah.
And you said that exact same thing.
Yes. I think that's definitely just like, even if it's throughout the workday, just sending a little text like, hey, hope you're doing good this week. Like, and then maybe saying something that like happened to you or whatever. I think that's like special and keeps them kind of in the loop.
But also at the same time, when I wrote this, I was like, I have a lot of friends that I don't text little reminder messages to.
I don't.
And when I catch up with them, nothing has changed. We're still sisters. We're still cracking up like we were in high school or college or wherever they're from. And like distance doesn't have to be so scary. Like distance from your friends does not have to scare you.
It honestly can make your friendship even stronger.
Yeah. And it also makes you feel like you're on the same page.
Yeah.
Because for instance, if you're friends with a friend that does not need to be caught up with, and you're someone who doesn't really need to like have that
kind of
all the
awesome.
time, constant connection.
You're low maintenance.
You guys are good.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong there.
I think it's important to remember every friend is different and you don't need to, like, you're not going to treat every single one the same. So the ones you need to kind of check in to remind them and they need that extra reminder, do that. But then also the ones that are low maintenance and they don't care if you rain check, you know the relationship best. So I think that's kind of nice that every friend is different.
Like one of my closest friends, I know she's busy as hell. She's moving right now. We don't really talk all that much, but when we FaceTime,
doesn't make you sad.
No. And when we FaceTime and text, it'll be for like 5 days and then she'll be gone for like 4 months. And you're like, that's fine. I don't care. I could care less. I used to do the same thing. One of my other friends, I'm like, just tell me next time you're home. Then we don't talk until she's coming home. But I have it on my calendar that she's coming back and I probably am making a reservation for us. I feel fine. I'm busy too. Like when you get out of college, like you realize all of your time does not need to be spent making social plans.
Yeah.
Your time does actually need to be spent making your life grounded and making the like almost like the base of what your life is going to be. It sounds really cliche and kind of dramatic, but it's like, okay, what do I care about? Where do I want to live? Who do I want to be around? Is my partner the right person for this time in my life? Work. Although a lot of us don't love our jobs, I'm lucky that I really like my job right now. You have to care about it. And that's where your time should be spent. I used to spend so much time texting people being like, hey, just checking in with you. Hey, just checking in with you. Hey, and I felt like it was my job.
Yeah.
No. It shouldn't be a task or a chore.
What we were talking about before, you should not feel anxious within a relationship.
No.
Like it doesn't have to always be easy because that's not life, but it has to be like, you should feel calm.
Yeah.
You should feel yourself.
I love that. I want to talk about 3 things that I think are okay in a friendship that I think a lot of people freak out about. And I want to just read them. It's okay. Number 1, it is okay to have a mix of friends for different times and parts of your life. Not everyone is your best friend, meaning like you were talking about.
Yeah. Like
some friends are drinking friends.
Yeah.
Some friends are working out friends.
Some friends are work friends. Yeah. And you wouldn't really hang out with them outside.
Like, why would you get mad? Like one of my best friends doesn't like to really do fitness classes and fitness is half of my life, probably more.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make me mad. I don't want to force her to feel like she has to do things she doesn't want to do just to see me. That's just a different friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's number 1. Number 2, it is okay to be in a different place than your people. That one is hard because we talked about jealousy. We talked about comparing and like kind of being like, I need to go do this because they're all moving.
Yeah.
But it is okay to be in a different place than your people.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of like in the relationship theory where if it's 100% in a relationship and right now you're doing pretty good, like let's just say you've got a steady job, you go out to dinner with one of your friends, maybe they're not loving their job, maybe they're in between jobs, maybe buy them a drink.
Yeah.
I
like that.
Carry the 80% of the weight for a little while if there's somebody you care about, and then have that 20%, like it'll ebb and flow. Relationships will not always be great. We're not always going to be in the best parts of our lives. So let that ebb and flow be there.
And I think it's the same, like when you said 80%, whatever, like carrying the weight, it's the same in a relationship with your like significant other. You have to remember that they're not always going to give 100%. So you maybe need to pick up the slack a little.
Number 3, I wrote down, people don't have to be bad people to be a friend you no longer want to have around.
Say that one more time.
They don't have to be a bad person for you to let them go as a friend.
No, I wanted you to say that again because I think we all need that reminder.
Yeah. It's hard though, because I mean, sometimes they are not great, but they're not a bad person for one thing, but they're just not your match. Like they can be a match with somebody else, and that's okay. Like especially if the signs are like, it's way too chaotic trying to make plans with them, which probably was me for a lot of people for a really long time, because I just was too busy. Like I probably wasn't the good friend to have back then. I'll admit it right now, but if it's chaotic, if it's, I'm going to talk about friendship breakups when you're actually with a friend, but this is more like if you're trying to make friends and like be around them, or you felt like you've been around them for a long time. You just they don't have to be a bad person for you to be like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this anymore. And the thing that I would do if it was like more of a light friendship, and then we'll go into like deep friendships, I would slowly distance myself. I wouldn't be a douchebag. I wouldn't like pretend like you want to hang out with them, but say you can't, just like, be like, I'm really, I've got a lot going on right now, and I can't like hang out. Like, just be honest. Like, I can't, or I don't really feel like it, or, things like that. But obviously don't try not to hurt people's feelings. I'm just giving you permission. If you're like theorizing in your head, like this person, they're a good person,
but like you don't really want to be friends with them. And guess what? You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't always have to be friends with everyone.
We're not collecting friends here.
No.
We're trying to get a good few couple. You know what I mean? In your circle.
Sometimes you meet someone and you just don't jive, and you're both good people.
And that's okay.
You don't need to be. That's
all right. Like,
Besties.
I want you to get like, give yourself permission for that though. And I think this is a perfect segue into like friendship breakups in general, because I think we get so caught up and we have to keep it. We've been through so much. We've been through so much. We're going to be in the same places all the time. Like, oh my God, like other people are going to be a part of the drama. Then it's it gets really chaotic. So like, just take a breath. Let's just remind ourselves. Friends shouldn't make you feel anxious.
Yep.
Friends should not make you feel bad, especially like maybe if you don't want to get together that night or you cancel.
Yeah, they should be understanding if you need a rain check, or if you say, I'm sorry, can we please do this, whatever, another day.
Yep. They should not get mad at you when they're drinking, like just out of nowhere, right? Like that's weird, bad behavior that you tolerate.
Usually like a underlying, like they're pent up something that they have against.
Mm-hmm. They shouldn't think you're talking to their boyfriend. That's another like drinking related one. I feel like I got write-ins about that in college.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Just like people being like, you get insecure around them, or they make you feel insecure is more what I should probably have worded it as. They shouldn't get jealous at other friends that you have. Right? Like that's another thing that is common.
Because they should be happy with your own relationship with them.
Exactly. They should be like
content with that.
Exactly. And like shouldn't be jealous if you talk to a new person at the bar, like a new girlfriend, or like somebody that they don't know, or
okay, that's creepy. I mean,
stuff like that happens though to people.
I know, but it's weird.
They have no, I know, but it's clingy friends.
Yeah,
it's true. Like
it's like, why wouldn't you want them to have other friends?
People are weird,
Share them.
And it's kind of like that how does my body feel situation.
Yeah, that's so true. I like that.
Yeah.
It is. You never really think about that. Like, how do you actually feel once you leave hanging out with them? Are you like, oh, that felt so nice to be with them. I feel relieved. Like, you should not feel stressed.
And also, you can have different distance of friends. Like I was kind of talking about, like, obviously there's workout friends and there's other friends. You can have like coffee and workout friends and not have the capacity to take it even deeper, or maybe you just don't want to.
Yeah.
And they're still your friends. They're just like your casual friends.
Yeah.
And those are also wonderful people too, because they're your community. They're in your community, right? There's different levels of friendships. But I think like if you're looking at the like furthest tier away, those are good. You don't really need to catch up with them as much. Like if you see them, great. There's middle tier ones, and then the closest tier ones, you have to nurture those and keep those in a good place. Those are the ones that need the most open communication. Those are the ones that need the most care and nurturing, and like, are you okay? Do you need help with something? Like they're kind of like a relationship, and you need to care for them and give them love.
And also don't put pressure on thinking that every friend needs to be that close.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I think a lot of people need to remember.
Have you gone through a friendship breakup before?
Yes.
And what was that like?
Horrible.
Talk about it.
This one was from college. And I would say we're still friends now, but we definitely used to be extremely close and like inseparable. And I've also had this in high school too, actually. So I've had a couple that just kind of had no actual fight, but just kind of falling out. And I don't know, I think in college we were in different places and doing different things. Kind of, I wasn't going out as much as everyone. I think that also had an effect on me losing some friends, as sad as that sounds. But yeah, the one in particular, it honestly feels like a boy breakup.
Yeah.
Like it hurts.
Sucks.
And it's sad, and some things remind you of them just like a relationship would with someone else. And you miss catching up with them and like the memories especially with like Snapchat. Like I'll get memories of like 5 years ago today or like 2 years ago, and it like definitely is like sad, but also it's not permanent. You can always mend a relationship.
Yeah. I love the way you put that too. You can mend it if you want to.
And you can, sometimes they can get like stronger. Like I've had a friend in college that we would fight a ton when we drink. And then now we're like friends, and I feel like we're building that relationship.
Yeah. And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You've got time.
Yeah.
Just keep building the relationship.
And I really care about her.
Yeah. That's the key though, is like you care about them.
Yeah.
There are times when they cross over to the other boundary of like, okay, I don't like dealing with this anymore. Like that's when I
feel like you've had more of that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had that really.
I've just had people that like hurt me, and like, like whether it be boyfriend related or like talking bad about me or, like things like that. And I just like, I used to like be like, it's okay. It's like, no, it's not actually. I'm not okay with that. And although in my deepest, darkest gut feeling, I know you're not a bad person, whatever that was, I don't want to be around you. But I will say I had to teach myself how to do that, because it was more work for me to be like, get away from me, than it was to just be like, oh, it's okay. It's fine, whatever. But then I ended up living with the like anxiousness and the bothered, feelings, or like when I drink, they'd all come out and I could like be like, fuck you. I wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying I could have, if they like bumped my drink over, I probably would have like overreacted. So I've been through a lot of breakups. I would say one of them in particular, I just don't think the person and I were on the same page. Like they would get irritated when I had different friends, and they would say I'm a bad friend all the time. And I'm just like, I couldn't do anything. What felt like I couldn't do anything right. And it was obviously because this person was not in a good place in their life. Yeah. And they were sad, and I tried to get, on that page with them of like, what's keeping you down? Cause I feel like you're attacking me for no reason. And we couldn't get there. Yeah. And I just slowly distanced myself away, and it hurt, and they threw out words that were really hurtful, but I'm not mad at them. I'm not. And if they reached out, I wouldn't be bothered. I just needed to get away, because it made me feel extremely anxious and like not good. Yeah. I mean, I had a friend one time that, I try not to give so many details away, because I just don't want people to try to figure out who these people are, but they were in a not great like mental health place. And it became a problem for me, like whether it be like, I'll say drug use, but like it was drug use, not like, don't think like scary drugs, but like doing like way too much Molly, like going to a lot of like shows, and then like getting themselves into trouble and needing someone to be at the house because they didn't have their keys, or like getting lost going out, or like having tantrums where they'll run down the street and you're like, where the fuck did they go? Lie.
I used to be a runner.
Oh my God, why?
She's a runner.
She's a track star.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
She gonna run away when it gets hot.
I used to, in college, randomly, I would be hammered and I would run.
It's kind of fun though, to be free.
Like, yeah, I felt so free, and I was giggling. It was hilarious. Or
when it's fun like that, though.
I wasn't angry, but I was just floating around doing my own thing.
That's different, but that's so fun.
Yeah. I remember on one of our like parties where we did the White Lies t-shirt.
Oh my God.
We made like
Those are so fun.
Mine was I won't disappear tonight.
I'm dead. That's funny. Oh Jesus. No, but this person, like the angry runaway, like where they disappear, and you're like, you have to spend the rest of the night taking care of them or trying to find them.
If that's a pattern, that's scary.
Oh my God. And I would go home, and this is not even here, whatever. It's, they'd be over. I don't know how to, like, I can't like say things because I'm like, Jesus, people are going to just try to piece this together, but they'd be in such a bad place. Like I would try to leave my space, and they would be like, immediate breakdown. And you're like,
oh my God, no.
Sorry, friend, that I really am trying to get to know because you're really nice and normal. I can't leave because my roommate is having a tantrum. Like, it's just like, And I finally was like, I can't do this anymore. You're going to be mad at me regardless. You're going to be mad when I have new friends. You're going to be mad when I set boundaries. But I cared so damn much what people thought of me that I was willing to bend to make people more comfortable.
Bend that ass back.
That was going to be so powerful.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But like bend and mold into whatever they needed me to be and not listen to my body. And guess what? My body was anxious.
I feel like you
got issues. You name it, acne, everything.
I feel like you had a
no ass,
flatty patty. I feel like you had a time where you were just people pleasing.
Oh my God, was I a people pleaser?
And
it ruined friendships.
And now look how far you've come. Like round of applause, people.
People, let's get a clap.
If you know her,
one
you
of
know
these is
she's
a clap.
A people please. Fucking shit.
Oh wait, no, that's not a clap. Oh, is that a clap? Nope. Can you hear anything?
No, I can't. I hope they can.
I hope you guys can.
So the funny thing is she's pressing the thing with her big toe.
I wonder why it's blinking. I hope that's not bad.
Uh-oh.
What did I do? I pressed the button too many times. Well, whatever. Either way. Anyway, but I will say just like paying attention to all those feelings and good Lord, if I could go back, I would tell myself to stop people pleasing. I would tell myself to care about the relationships that matter because I for sure didn't nurture some of my really good friend relationships because I was busy facilitating all these other ones because I was like, oh, please like me. I want to go there. I want to do that. But it wasn't like it wasn't a popularity contest. I want to be very clear. It wasn't that. It was more just like I liked when people liked me. And when they didn't, I felt really sad. So I just wanted to make sure everybody liked me.
Yeah.
And I was interested in like finding my group. Little did I realize I already had a group.
Do you think that's more kind of in college?
I think that was college. Yeah,
because I think
was college.
There's unfortunately
post college a little
with
bit too.
Girls, and I don't know if this is. I feel like this is a girl thing. There's sometimes like those girls that they don't like you for no reason.
We all know those.
Yeah, and it's like you haven't even like gotten to know them enough for them to not like you. Like I feel like I had like a couple of those where I just felt like they didn't like me, and they were friends with my like friends, and I'm like, okay. Like, you just have to be okay with that. That's just life. But
if someone doesn't like you either,
who gives a fucking shit?
Holy shit. You think that no, you should not care. You don't need to care. That's their bad. Like, people are in different places. You have no idea what like bothered them about you. Yeah. Like, you have no clue what it is. If it's guy related, if it's friend related, if it's just you doing something good.
And honestly, if they don't take the time to actually tell you about it and bring it up to you, then it doesn't matter.
Let it go away. Yeah.
Like if they're not because a really good friend that cares, and if they're hurt, they will come to you and tell you.
I just thought of another thing that was like very notable is like you're saying, they should come to you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you feel like you're the one that's always mending the relationship, like always one, like, I think she was mad at me from last night. I don't know why, but like, I'm going to text like, hey, is something wrong again? And now we're in an argument and it's a Sunday and you're already having the scaries.
Oh yeah.
And you don't need to be dealing with this anymore. And you're like, why are we even in an argument? Like, that's not a big deal. We just could have communicated this. If you're the one that's always having to fix the shit, at some point you will get sick of it. At some point you're going to be too old for that bullshit and you're way too mature. And you need to decide if that person's actually somebody you want to like tolerate. Mm-hmm. You're going to be with immature people at times. You'll be with friends that are at a different place in their life. You just get to decide how close they are.
I think that's exactly what happened to me my senior year of college.
Probably, yeah.
Just maturity levels.
Yeah, probably.
I think that was it. It wasn't anything like personal. It was just like distancing because of our interests and stuff.
Yeah. I'm proud of you. You've also like changed a lot. You've found your people and like I feel like I've seen you be way happier and not feel so worried about judgment.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like I have changed a lot. It's kind of awesome.
You should not feel judged by your friends.
Oh no. Yeah. I'm not today.
Here's another thing.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
You don't need to feel so bothered when friends hang out with each other and you're not there.
Oh yeah. I do not care.
But I'm just saying like that was such a like immature thing. Yes. Or like doing it on purpose where they're like trying to be secretive about it or whatever, all of that. Like that just like, that doesn't happen when it shouldn't happen when you get older. And if it is, you probably already knew that those people were not your people.
Yeah.
Find new people.
If it's that type of feeling where they're like doing it all the time and you feel left out.
And if you're sitting there, hey, too, right now where you're like, I really don't have that many friends.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's no one needs a million friends.
No.
You need a few good ones.
You realize it's really quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
Like I've realized that so much lately.
I completely agree on every friend.
I'd rather have one really fucking good friend than like 20. Like 20 like okay friends.
Yeah.
Way
acquaintances will always be there, but really good friends, you need them. You need them on your corner. You need them by your side. They need you. And remember that there's a possibility that maybe somebody you wish you were closer with is also wishing they were closer with you. So maybe take that leap with them and text them and say like, let's grab coffee, or like take a leap with somebody who you really feel like you connected with. Yeah. It's kind of like speed dating in a way.
It is. And I feel like I've been doing that lately, like texting and reaching out to the people that I'm like, hey, we should go and do something, or like do a workout class, or like let's get drinks, happy hour or something, because I genuinely want to like get to know them better.
And that's such a compliment. If someone's said that to you, I don't know. I have a hard time when people are like, you know, I feel lonely and like, and I just want to look at them and be like, there are people that feel lonely just like you.
Oh yeah.
There are probably people in your circle that feel lonely that wish you'd reach out to them and say, hey, I want to get together with you. Like, think about that. If you're not putting any effort out into the universe, you can't be like bothered when no effort is coming to you either. Yeah. You got to give and you got to take.
Texting or like putting yourself out there.
Exactly.
Slay. That was fucking good advice. Not gonna lie.
I also want to read a few call more.
Wait, yeah, I want to give advice.
Okay, we'll do a few
because this helps.
Okay, call Sid number 3 of the day. This one says, hi, Sid. I've got a childhood bestie who means a lot to me. I've known her since we were 10 and now we're both women. The issue is that she dates losers and every single time becomes obsessed with them. They treat her horribly and she calls me to figure it out for her. This has been a cycle for years now. And because of these men, there's no room to be friends in between. Every time I ask her to stop leaning on me, she apologizes and said she'll talk to me more about her hobbies and asks about me. After another heartfelt talk, we get together and she cried on my couch the entire time because she has gotten into a fight with her boyfriend about laundry. I hear you talking about leaning on your friends, but I feel so used. What is too much and when is it time to go?
It sounds like
this is too much. But
yeah. It sounds like the friend is relying on men to make her happy.
Well, absolutely. And here's the thing is you're not going to be able to
fill that void.
No, and she knows that, but that's too much. I'm going to say right now that is way too much. She's putting way too much on you. And it's hard because she's not being a good friend, to be honest. And this is going to sound a little bit like you've already communicated like you can't be leaning on me all the time. Yep. Like you've already communicated that you need to be a better friend because this hurts my feelings. I would start to pull back.
Yeah, I would too.
I would start to be like, you know, I've talked to you about this before and I don't have capacity right now. I'm also like struggling with a few things, or I'm also just trying to stay focused on my life and feel good. Sometimes when you call me, it gives me anxiety because I know there's going to be something bad. And it feels like no matter what, you're in like a slump and it's kind of frustrating and it brings me down. Yeah. Like you need to start to stand up for yourself.
Your own feelings. Yeah. And say I'm sorry, but you're really overwhelming me.
And that's okay. Yeah. I mean, it might burn a little bit, but I hate to say it, eventually that friend will be like, oh my God, I am so sorry.
But if they're the friend that's always doing that and always bringing that baggage, no shit, you're going to be overwhelmed.
And you're not going to heal them. No. So you saying and setting a boundary, whether it be like, I can't talk tonight, I'm hanging out with my friends. Like I'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah. Just like take a breath. You've been here before. We've talked about this before.
Even too, like a boundary of, this is just reminding me, if they send you like a long ass paragraph and you don't have time to really actually like give it attention, say, sorry, I'm going to read this like tomorrow, like blah, blah, blah.
Love you so much, but I'm in the middle of something right now.
I've done that before.
You need to set a boundary for yourself, especially if this is a continuation of a problem. That person needs to seek therapy, probably. It sounds like I can like put a finger on, I think, what the type of person is. They're very anxious attached. Since I just had Renee on, relationship therapist, I'm using her terms, but they're anxious attached. And so they're like, oh my God, oh my God, this is the end. That's a them versus them problem. And that sucks. It sucks to be in that position, but they've got to get help for themselves. You are not going to save them. Yes, that is way too much that they're leaning on you for. and set some freaking boundaries, because otherwise it's going to be you sucked in. You're going to be the one that always solves their problems, and they will never solve it on their own. And you'll just feel kind of used in a way, which is what you're already feeling. So boundaries, please. Boundaries. All right. Another call said, this one says, my birthday is coming up and I'm the type of person who hates celebrating my birthday, but my friend insisted that we do a dinner and I make a list and she will handle the rest. I started to get excited about it because it sounded fun, but then a sorority event was planned for the same day, same exact time of what my dinner was planned for. I asked in the chat if they would still come to my birthday dinner since I didn't want to spend my birthday with some people in the chapter, which is the whole different story. And the only response I get was, it's my last chapter meeting. And the others just left me on read. I reread the text multiple times to make sure I read it right and ended up feeling really sad. I ended up canceling the dinner because my friend texted me saying how everyone was torn between going to the chapter event and my birthday dinner. And I was in the Denver airport during this situation. So my question is, am I allowed to be upset for this, or am I being over dramatic? This is another college one because it's sorority.
Yeah. I think you're really immediately what I'm thinking, and then you say your opinion.
Okay, I'll hold mine.
I don't know how important the sorority is to you in that event. If it's the last chapter event, some people really care about that stuff. But if it was my really good friend's birthday dinner, I'm going to go to that. Fuck it. So
I also think some people are like rule followers, which I'm like kind of guilty of being.
With the sorority stuff.
Yeah, just because I got in trouble all the time and it drove me nuts. I always like was doing something. So I feel like it's not that crazy and I wouldn't take it as personally and like I would just reschedule it. But I also think that there is a time in your life where you aren't sure who your close friends are and you're feeling a little out of place, and that's why you didn't really want to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah.
And you're just feeling in a funk with friends, and that just like kind of just hits the nail on the head again of like, oh my God, I don't know who my friends are. So I understand why you're feeling hurt. I don't think that the logic between that is like, oh, I'd rather be at the chapter meeting. Like, no, what? Obviously not, right? No, they're not fun.
They're not fun at all.
I remember them. No.
And I hated that stuff.
And they don't probably want to get in trouble and be like all in a different spot. So I would just say to you, maybe a smaller dinner of people you want to be there, or like a happy hour, and whoever can make it great that weekend, like kind of spur the moment. So it's not so like, oh my God, who's going to be there kind of thing.
Yeah. Maybe like
pre going out or like something like that. Make it more casual. I think it'll remove the pressure, and don't be bothered when people are busy, but also like lean into the people that you really feel good around. Maybe you only feel good around 2 people, but you're feeling obligated to have this big event or big party because you're in a sorority, and that's what college is like. You just should, in air quotes, you should have a lot of friends, right? So just take the pressure off a little bit.
Yeah, maybe go with a couple of friends to get drinks or dinner, and then send a text while you're there and say, hey, we're going to be here till this time. Like, come if you can.
And
make it less pressure.
If you're putting pressure on people, especially like your good friend that's trying to throw something for you, and something came up and now you're like maybe being a little bit pokey or short with them, like that's not good on you either, right? Like they were trying to make it fun for you and make it easy for you because you're kind of feeling down. Like maybe just try like a happy hour with that person and say, thank you for making an effort with that. I'm sorry, I kind of read in the situation a little wrong, but let's just do a fun happy hour and let's invite some of those girls and whoever can make it great. And, just remove the pressure. Birthdays are weird sometimes.
They are weird.
Yeah, especially around that time. So don't be offended by friends not being able to go.
Birthdays are a lot like New Year's Eve, where you think they're going to be really great and sometimes
yep.
They're like, there's too much pressure.
I know.
Like this year was so nice when we went to Porzana for mine. All I wanted was a nice dinner. That's all I wanted. And I didn't go out for my 23rd. I didn't like see a lot of my friends. I honestly just was with my family, and it just felt perfect.
You know what's interesting is Alejandra, who was just on the episode or on the podcast like a few episodes ago, she said that her New Year's is her birthday. So she writes resolutions for her year versus the year. So on her birthday, she like decides, like reflects on what she's done in the past year of her life.
I love that.
And then kind of like grounds herself in what's coming next. And I just love that idea so much. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do that this year. It's my golden birthday.
And we're 42. Going to Miami.
Miami.
If Jordan lets us come with.
I know he was being sassy today. I think he maybe like is deprived of me time and like was feeling a little jelly.
But come on, it's Miami.
I know.
Let's go. Mom and sister need to come.
Vamos a la Miami. Gracias. Okay. Last call SYD of the day, and then we'll be done. Okay. This one is a little bit spicier. I started reading and I was like, oh my God. If this was my friend, I'd be like, So just here we go. This one says, boyfriend hanging out with girlfriend alone. Am I overreacting in this situation? I have been dating my boyfriend for about 1.5 years now and have never had any major fights. For New Year's weekend, I went out of state with my sister to visit my older sister and her daughter. I FaceTimed my boyfriend the first night I got there and we talked about our plans for the next day. He told me some stuff and then casually dropped that he was going over to another girl's house to watch a movie with her. The girl is an old coworker he does not have a sexual past with at all. I didn't react at first because I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but then the thoughts started popping up and how he decided to hang out with her while I'm out of state and on New Year's Eve. I understand that he can hang out with whoever he wants and that I chose to go out of state, so he's going to make other plans, but it still felt icky to me. I expressed that I was upset about it and told him why, and he told me that they were just friends and that I should trust the relationship. The next day, I FaceTimed him around 4:45 and he was in the car going somewhere. I asked him what he was up to and he said he was going over to the girl's house. I assumed that he would be doing that during the day and not at night. That made me sad and I told him, but he said it was the only time that worked for both of them. They ended up just driving around and went to Walmart, but he took his Jeep truck that he always tells me he doesn't want to put a lot of miles on. If he knew that he was going to be driving around, why'd he take that car? I don't know if I'm overreacting in this situation. It makes my stomach upset thinking about it, though.
Oh, God.
And when I told him how I felt, he told me I was overreacting and that I should trust him to not do anything bad, which I do, but bad thoughts pop into my head that I can't control. He also said that if it was my situation, I was hanging out with a boy alone, he would feel uncomfortable, yet he still did it.
Oh, my Lord. What in the hell?
First of all, what are you doing at Walmart?
And
what that was a curveball for me.
Yeah.
What's going on at Walmart?
Also, driving around, that's such a high school thing. Like, what? Okay.
Oh.
Immediately no. Immediately no. That is so fucking weird.
No, I don't like it at all.
That is not normal. That's not normal.
First of
all,
all,
old coworker. What the hell?
You're not close. You're not hanging out one-on-one.
Watching a movie on New Year's, that's intimate.
That is so beyond weird. I don't remember, how long did they say they were together? Did it say?
A year.
A year. Oh yeah, boyfriend for about a year and a half.
And also, if he also said like, oh, I would like that if you did that. What? Where's the logic?
I'm genuinely a little bit confused at this write-in of like, what was he? I don't even know what to say here. I don't know where to start because I'm not knocking you at all because you're in something that you really like and it's been a year and a half. That's a good amount of time. However, there are boundaries in a relationship that you do not cross, no matter what the relationship is. And you guys may have a different relationship, but it sounds like you don't. An old coworker that he does not need to be keeping in touch with. Why is he keeping in touch with an old coworker?
I think that part doesn't even matter. This is just weird. It doesn't matter if they're a coworker or like...
Or just a random like girl, a college friend. Or a friend or an ex.
That's not okay.
It's just not normal. And it almost feels like it's a little backhanded because you chose to go be with family instead of being with him, which sounds like that would be a controlling human.
And the one time he's hanging out with her is when you leave. And also the car thing is weird because he definitely wanted to show off with his
That's what I'm saying.
car. That's weird.
Like, look how far I've come over here. Okay. And then you go to Walmart. Goodbye. I can't. What are you doing at Walmart? Running around in the aisles together? Getting what? Candy for your movie night?
Yeah.
The hell?
Her gut feeling. Listen to your gut feeling. Literally, it is your body is telling you that something is off.
And you're mature, you're trying to keep it cool, you're trying to be chill, you're noticing that like obviously you trust him, but like this is weird.
Me and you would burn the house down.
I would have flown home. I would be in the trunk of this bed of his car that he never drives. I would be back there like with sunglasses on and my hood up, like hiding, watching them.
Oh, hi.
I'd already be like FBI in the girl. Like, where does she live? What's going on? What's she doing? No, but I feel for you right now, but I'm not going to lie to you. If this is the behavior that he's doing, this is not someone that I would tolerate being in a relationship with. Like, this would be enough for me to be like, you are emotionally crossing lines. I'm breaking up with you.
It'd be different if it was like maybe the guy had a really good childhood friend where they're actually just like, even that's
and
maybe
they're
weird.
Not driving around in the car.
Yeah, I don't know. And watching a movie.
Or watching a movie on New Year's Eve.
That's just a little
hanging
weird.
Out at night.
Like if they're going to get coffee or something, I feel like that's kind of normal.
Also, do you not know who this girl is?
That's even weirder. I didn't even think about that.
That's a line
You
crossed.
should know, yeah. If you're dating for a year, you should know his best friends.
Controlling people will be like, oh no, I wouldn't be okay with that. But like, this is different. That's someone who's controlling. That's somebody who maybe is bordering the line of like inappropriate relationships, but like wants you to stay in line because like you're his. I've experienced that before.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, like he wants her to stay in line.
Yeah. Like he wants, like I've been in relationships where the other person was tooling around, but was like not okay with me doing anything, even though like me being in the same party with a guy would be like too much for them. Yet they were the ones like going out to eat one-on-one with like a random girl like this. Yeah. So like just like this is a sign from God knows what's up there saying you need to be paying attention and you need to get the hell out. I'm sorry. Some people may disagree. Like try to work it out, try to talk it out. Go to Walmart together. See if he likes it just as much. I'm just kidding. The Walmart thing, it could be Target or Walmart. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just random as shit. Like
I know,
random.
It's just so random. Wait, fuck. I was gonna say.
Dump him. Like Taylor's hat.
Yeah, listen to my hat. Dump him.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? It was so good. Oh, fuck. I can't remember.
Oh, Taylor, you're always forgetting your shit.
I know.
This was a really fun episode.
Did you like it? Fun, yeah.
Honestly, sorry for our laugh attacks. We just kind of, it's like a funky, like it's a Saturday. We're just like, I literally watched Queer Eye all day. I laid in bed. I'm not joking. I didn't get up. Jonathan Van Ness, God, I love him. Don't you watch that?
I'm still mad that I don't remember what I was going to say. It's going to bug
probably
me.
Fucking good.
I know.
Fuck. Damn it. Either way.
I remember now. I remember. Sorry. I'm like a perfectionist. I need to remember what it was.
Okay, go ahead.
It is a good sign. No, it's not going to
Welcome back.
Everyone, it's a good sign that he at least told you that he's hanging out with her. What if he didn't tell her?
That's true.
What if he could easily have just been watching the movie, never told her?
Yeah, but that's okay.
That's
him
like
communicating. That's like bottom line. Like communicating what he's doing.
Like I meant it in like it's a sign. Like the universe. True. Like, oh God, he told you, now bye bye.
But it's like, it's funny when girls are like, at least you weren't saying it like this. Yeah, no. I'm just saying I've been with girls that are like, well, at least he told you that he like was getting flirty with a girl. I'm like, hey, at least he fucking told you. What do you mean? Like, no, he fucking did that thing and that's bad. Or like, at least he told you, communicated bare bones.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Give him a cookie. He's such a good boy. Like, it's just, I am so in the era of, you got to be your own person. You got to own it. You got to be.
And you're your own person.
Yourself.
So don't put up with shit if you don't want to. And if something crosses the boundary, for example, if you don't want this is something I was talking about with my friend. Sorry, This is a tangent.
No, go ahead.
But one of my friends asked me today, she's like, what would you let like your future boyfriend go to a strip club?
I mean, are you asking me?
Yeah. Like, that's just like...
I mean, I don't control him, but I'd hope he wouldn't really want to go.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So it's like... But the point is, like, if you have certain standards and they don't meet them, then bye-bye.
Like, Jordan never would want to go to one.
Yeah, why would you want to?
He's said it before. He's like, no, I'm not into those things. And I never told him my opinion on it.
Oh, really?
Me and my eyes twitching. I'm like, would you ever want to go to one? My eye is twitching. I'm like ready to bite. He's like, not really. I'm like, okay. I feel so much better. Turn around. Yes. Yes. Like, yeah, it's true though. Like, find somebody that meets your standard.
Yeah.
If you don't want, like, if your standard is like, you don't care about them following like big booty accounts and stuff like that. Like,
as you can tell, we are not those people.
I'm not that person. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm chill. I've never pretended that I'm chill.
Because also, why would you want that?
It's okay.
I don't care he's following that model.
I don't care.
Basically nudes.
I don't care. And he likes all their photos and shares them with his buddies. It doesn't bug me. It does. I look nothing like her. It's like, no, dude, like, set a boundary. Sorry, we just had to do one dating one because it was about a girl who was clearly not being a girl's girl, one. Two, Taylor's hat says dump him, and it just like had to go with the theme. Like,
wait, I think we should
go with the theme.
I think we should do one more write-in.
One more.
Yeah, come on. Give the people what they want.
Oh my God.
I love the write-in. When I'm listening, I love write-ins.
Okay, let me see.
Just one.
Short and sweet for the last call, Sid, so we can be done.
Last little one, go out for the bang.
Hi, watching the podcast, and I'm frustrating with my dated life. Okay, what the fuck?
Wait, Zivka, keep that in, please. No, please.
Fine, you can keep that one in.
Be real.
Okay, let me try this again. Hi, I cannot read, you guys, to save my life. Hi, by the way, I'm reading a book right now, and it's mystical. It's tough. It's tough.
Okay,
Wait,
can we just say this is funny?
Ferrier.
When Sid posted on her Instagram story a picture of a book, and I literally know her so well, I'm like, I slid up and I'm like, you're not actually reading that, like, or like,
and I was.
You hate reading, and you got so offended.
Yeah, because I'm like, I can turn a new leaf, and you can be excited for me. Okay, but I will say, mystical books for me, tough.
I like
The Cloak under the. And
I like grapes.
I'm reading the book in a British accent because they're speaking so like
I don't
so
like
much
that.
like Game of Thrones.
Oh, I don't like. I like
and I can't picture.
I'm a basic hoe. I like Colleen Hoover.
I do too.
I love.
And I'm reading.
I do too. That was like a mom.
But they're talking about their hut that they live in and all these like mystical creatures, and I'm like, I can't picture it.
Okay, if you're gonna try to get back into reading, do not pick that.
No, but everyone's messaging
Is that
me.
That one with the dragon on it?
Yeah, I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, I've seen that on TikTok. Okay,
it's supposed to be good. Okay, here we go. Hi, watching the podcast. I'm just frustrated with my dating life. I am so picky with guys, and I have problems trusting. I made the first move with this kid. He said he wanted to take me out to drinks, but I ended up just going over to his house and we hooked up. Unfortunately, I liked him before we hung out, but now we just Snapchat and he doesn't say anything. I'm 22, he's 23, so immature, and I'm just so annoyed. What would you say to this person?
So I kind of went lost with my head.
It's okay. You were here, but you were there.
I was here.
She's
and
frustrated
then
with the dating life.
They went on a date.
He wanted to take her out to drinks, but she ended up just going over there to his house and they hooked up
on accident.
She already liked him.
Oh, okay.
And now they just Snapchat.
Ooh.
And he doesn't say much.
Oh, the story of my life. I'm sorry, but I've been there, girl.
What would you say to yourself if you were in this position again?
I would say don't put effort into it because clearly he doesn't really care. I'm sorry, that was really harsh, but I've been there. He would want to, if he wanted to, he would, and he would bring you out on a date if he wanted to. And he'd also probably, if he's snapping and does that still, he probably would ask you like how your day is. Like that's not that big of a, it's not that big of an ask. Like if he's just frustrating. I don't love that. If he's just sending you pictures of his face, like
the 20s are hard because there are where you like decide what your like boundaries are and what you care to like have in a relationship. What's the word? Come on, Taylor, get it. Catch that word, girl. Come on, what is it?
Standards?
Yeah, standards.
Oh,
yes, good job, Taylor.
I
get a cookie for Taylor. What your standards are, and in this like dating, like obvious.
I feel like I'm high. I don't know because you're like dating.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Stop, Taylor. I've been watching TV all day. My brain's totally mush. I cry every Queer Eye episode that I watch.
Oh my God, guys.
Every episode.
It's so good.
Every episode.
It's so good.
Tears coming down my face.
If you're ever in a bad mood, turn on an episode of Queer Eye. You will be so
Oh my
happy.
God. It's so cute too.
It's so cute.
I understand the frustration with dating in this time. I also think that in this time that we like date these guys that are like this, we don't see or watch the flags from the beginning. Yeah. We just like them because they're attractive or they like quote unquote picked us, if that makes sense. Like you need to pick the person you're with and you need to make sure that they're a good person before you like them for the basics. I've said this before. If he has a good relationship with his mom, he works out and he has a job, those are not like 3 things that make you like him. Those are bare minimum.
That was me a year ago.
I know, I looked at you and I was
like, why do you like him? And I'm like, well, he works out. He kind of cooks. He is close with his mom.
And I looked at her and I go,
that is like a normal human.
That's exactly what your bare bones should be of somebody. So no, I'm like so hard on Tay though. For
also,
like this.
Remember Grandma always said, don't let a man pick you. you pick the man.
Exactly.
Oh, hell yeah, grandma.
Let's go, grandma. Let's go. So just be gentle with yourself right now, dating in the 20s, the early 20s. Guys, at this time, obviously, frontal lobe, not fully developed, not knocking them. It's just the truth. Also, they just probably kind of want to like be single, and some guys do right now. And so as you're looking around, just be mindful that you need to look for the signs if someone's actually into you. Don't give effort to someone who's not giving effort to you.
Yeah, pull back and see what he does.
Don't jump the gun if you're not a hookup person, which it sounds like you're not. Don't jump the gun to hooking up because you get excited.
Yeah.
Because you'll just end up feeling like crappy after. Obviously, if you're like that, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Then boo boo.
But if you want to if you're looking for a relationship, try to look for like a date and not jump to that stage right away.
And it might be exciting to like that, oh my God, the guy you like wants to have you over later, like wants to take you to drinks, and like you never know what will happen. It's fun when it's fun and casual, but it's not fun when you already like the guy and this guy is like kind of very obviously putting out what he wants right there. Like, you want to come over? It's like, although flattering that you're asking me to come over, we literally don't talk. No, like you don't know me. Yeah. You don't even like how
bring me to dinner.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
let's get to know each other. Set some standards
right now for yourself, and you will feel so much better. And I guarantee that boy is a turd anyway.
And I guarantee the turd, if you reel it back on Snapchat, he will come crawling back. They always crawl back.
Crawling.
And it's always on Snapchat.
I deleted that app. I'm off that.
Why do men that are like 29 still have that? Please delete the app.
Who has it? Oh.
Sid, a lot of men have it.
No.
Yes, they do.
That's a little boy. Sorry.
But there's a lot of
guys. There's a lot of guys.
And they're like,
my college friends, I feel like, have it.
But also they're like, well, there's group chats. Like, okay.
Snapchat is a sneaky place.
It is.
I got off that a long time ago. It's also just something that I feel like I had to maintain because there's so many messages coming in. I'm like, I don't need to be texting you and DMing you on Instagram and sending you TikToks and Snapchatting you. Like, my brain is going crazy.
Last episode, I said I was going to delete it, and I did it for a day.
That was kind of pathetic.
And then I'm like, wait, I feel like I can't talk to my friends.
Taylor.
There is, I'm not going to lie, I do sympathize with that. There is group chats that we talk in.
Okay, fair.
So I don't want to be.
I just talk in the chats that are over text. They already know that I'm not there in the other ones.
You're like checked
I'm
out.
Ghost mode. See ya. Peace. I got other things I want to do. It's just make your own priorities. That's all I gotta say. Okay, this was really fun.
This was really fun.
I actually really like this episode. We laughed a lot. Sorry for being sassy in the beginning and then laughing.
It's okay.
Through. You go. It's okay. Hey, if you're confused, look at Taylor's hat and just like do the damn thing. Okay. Everybody. Follow Tay K. That's my sister. Taylor's going to be coming on for more episodes. If you have something that you need to write in, something you need to know, some advice you want us to talk about.
We should do the sister advice episodes.
Yes.
I want that.
We will do it on anything. It's like our come for anything like advice pool. So 612-470-7569. Text me, call me there. Some of you are texting there and you're like, is this Sid? I'm like, yep, it's me. It's just me. Like no one else sees it. Your identity is kept hidden. I'm the only one that knows the number that it comes from. So don't worry about that. If you are overseas, you need to go to the link in my bio, click get advice. And that's where you can type in your advice right there. Okay. Cool. Always anonymous. I'd prefer if you called me. If you're in the US, you're more likely to get on an episode if you call me and leave a voicemail, and it will ring for like a minute. It's annoying. Don't know why it does it, but just call me there. Okay. Go follow on YouTube, please, if you can. That really, really helps me. So please do that if you already have not. And they're sometimes fun to watch if you haven't watched an episode, especially like while you're getting ready or something. I think it's kind of fun too. It. Tay, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I'll be on more too.
Let us know what you think of this episode too. Spotify has this new little thing where you can say like, what did you think of the episode? Look for it on your Spotify app and let us know what you think. I want to know. All right.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye-bye.